Secretly recording phone conversations. Can anybody do that, or is it really only about government? Last week on this video blog, we talked about that very important Supreme Court decision involving a GPS and talked about the need for warrants when there are wiretaps that are done by government. This week, our case deals with a private company, or basically a private citizen. It's a case that arose in California. And there was a consumer finance company, and they would record phone calls that were going on between their employees and customers. Now you say, well, what's the big deal on that? I often, when I make phone calls, hear a recording that said these calls may be recorded and monitored. Okay, that's true. And when you get that notice, then you are on notice that the call may be recorded. However, in this particular instance, there was no notice. There was no notice. The company was just secretly recording these calls. And apparently they were using that information for various purposes, some of which were to their advantage, to the disadvantage of some customers. Well, a suit was brought against the company that said, hey, this was a violation of our privacy rights under the law in California. Okay. California has a very specific law that says a third party or any party cannot engage in recording or eavesdropping on conversations. So, California has a protection that's apart from the U.S. constitutional protections. All right, you think it's going to be pretty simple, that the guys who recorded this stuff were just wrong, they violated the statute? No, not that simple, because they argued that, look, we're not eavesdropping. It's our conversation, it's our employees who are recording this stuff. They're not eavesdropping. They're having an open conversation with customers. It's not eavesdropping. Therefore, it does not violate the statute. Well, the guys on the other side said, hang on a second. The statute may talk about eavesdropping, may imply that this really prohibits a third party to a conversation from recording it, but it really is to protect the privacy rights of anybody on a phone. Because people in a phone call do not think other people are listening unless they have noticed that other people are on the line. Okay, well, it goes up on a court of appeals in the state of California, and there the court looked at it and said, you know what? You guys are right. You guys are right. While the statute uses the term eavesdropping and implies that there would be a third party, it really is designed to provide for privacy, and in this instance, that privacy was violated by virtue of the fact that one of the parties to the phone conversation was recording it without the permission of someone else. Okay. Now, what does this mean to you? It depends on where you live. Some states have laws like California does that prevents other individuals from recording phone conversations, or even the people who are participating in the phone conversation from recording it unless there's notice to the other people. Other states do not have such laws, which means if you're in one of those states and somebody records your phone conversation or you record a phone conversation, there's nothing wrong with that. Well, you think, well, that's a violation of privacy. It is a violation of privacy, but there isn't any specific statute, no specific law that prohibits that from happening. You can say, well, it's a violation of the Constitution. Wrong. Not a violation of the Constitution, because these are private individuals. It's not the government. Again, it's pointed out many times. Constitution, about you and government. It's not about you and your neighbor. It's about you and government. Your neighbor can do things that would be unconstitutional if the government did them, but because he isn't government, he can do them. It's a violation in some instances of your privacy, and in some instances it may be a violation of a state law, but it depends on the state where you live. All right, why did we bring you this case? Well, we bring you this case so that you understand the distinction between government and private citizens, and you understand how privacy works in the context of one person against another person, and that there are laws in many states that prohibit eavesdropping. In some states there are not, and in some states where there are not, you just have to look to what's referred to the common law and try and basically, if you have to, bring suit against the person, sue the other person in order to obtain money damages for how you were harmed. But you've got to show a harm, got to show a harm. All right. Hey, we bring you this case as we bring you cases every week so you understand how the law works. I'm David Allen.